game if you're Kansas City?
I think the most important thing is...
It's in San Diego, by the way.
Yeah, which is a great place to play, by the way. There's this great bar called the Beachcomber. Oh, it's
I know the Beachcomber.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Just a quick story. When I played for
Mission
Seattle,
Beach.
we had this deal with Coach Erickson, who actually, we went to her like, listen, if we win this game...
That's how we went right into this.
He's like, we win this game, like, can we stay in San Diego, okay, and like, we'll just catch a flight back. And he was like, all right, listen, if we win, you can stay, catch a flight back. You have to be back by like, I don't know, whatever, 2 o'clock to get your lift in. Well, anyways, the game was close, and we ended up like winning that game. I mean, half of the team ended up at the Beachcomber, and nobody got home and I think the flights left at like 7 a.m. It's like each guy like matriculated himself into the airport, like one at like 6:05, one at 6:10.
So you went into San Diego, beat the Chargers, and stayed and went out that night in San Diego?
So the charter went home empty.
That's a recipe for disaster.
Oh my God, it was. It went hard to like, it was rough. But as far as, I'll just go back to the Chiefs. As far as the Chiefs go, I think the most important thing is, you don't want anyone to get hurt. Right. So you don't want to go at less than 100%. So the rule of thumb is you guys get hurt when they don't give 100%. It just happens that way because they're just not as careful and bad things happen. So if you go in there, I think you play them for a quarter, playing for a half, and then you pull them. You pull your key guys because you're not getting anything out of that. You're going to play next week. Like, not playing in the second half isn't going to change anything. But at the same time, you don't want to just slap it out there and and have like an end on a bad play. I always thought it was important to end strong, regardless of if you were trying to win. Like, at least the starters, they needed to end
Except Baltimore,
strong.
1-4 last year, heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, but they weren't in the same situation. I mean, right? I mean, this team has they are who they are. Nothing's changing. Nothing's going to change for them. Like, they're set where they're set. They're not going to get a bye.
They have some injuries. I mean, Justin Houston, I would assume, won't play. Tamba Ali has had some injuries. Those type of guys might just sit out.
When you look at their second half of the season, okay, so they lost those 3 games in a row, sandwiched Denver games. They lost in Denver, which was the big game. They're both undefeated, 27-17. Then they lost to San Diego at home, 41-38, that wild one.
Yep.
Then they lost to Denver again, 35-28. The game really wasn't that close. They went into Washington, put up 45 points and won 45-10. They went into Oakland, 2 not very good teams this year, but they went into Oakland and won 56-31. Then they played Indianapolis at home and got kicked 23-7.
To me, that's the one. That's the eye opener.
But how do you figure this team?
I mean, if you want to look at just the Justin Houston injury is huge. We talked about Von Miller being a Defensive Player of the Year type candidate. Justin Houston, based on the way the team looked early in the year with him healthy and then how they looked late when he wasn't or not even out there, he seems like he's a factor guy for them. That was the real eye-opener for me because I give them credit. I think we all thought Denver was better than Kansas City. So to lose to Denver twice, not a huge deal. Even the first one, they gave Denver their best run for the money to that point in the season, right? I mean, they did a good job against that offense. It was more than they could deal with. But I don't know how they allow the Colts to come in and just embarrass them like that. To me, that's a curious performance.
Well, again, they really don't have anything to play for, to your point, Christian. So it'll be interesting how they do play and what factor it has in the playoffs. I mean, they were the pick to click. They were 9-0.
Yeah.
While we're on it, I actually think they're the worst matchup for the Patriots. If we're going to talk about matchups, that would scare the hell out of the Chiefs.
And I know they
put pressure on the quarterback. The defense is good. Even though we've seen some hiccups here, I think that defense is good. Especially, I'm assuming that Justin Houston will be out there by that time. And then offensively, you look at it, they have a quarterback who just doesn't make mistakes. He's got 8 picks in like 500 attempts. The Patriots need mistakes. Yeah. They need interceptions.
So the only way
to be at their
Kansas
best.
City...
They need bad coaching. I don't think you're going to get it from
You're probably not going to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, even though there's some questions way back in the day in the Super Bowl about the clock management.
But that was more Donovan McNabb.
Yes, and he was vomiting.
I'm sick.
Andy Reid is a pretty good coach. You're not going to probably get him to throw up on himself like his quarterback did. And you look at Jamal Charles. I have questions about this run defense. That's a guy that averages 5 yards a carry and is their leading receiver. Do you like the matchup of Jamal Charles on, say, Dante Hightower? No, I don't like that matchup. I think, and oh, by the way, they have a lot of returns for kickoffs. So if you want special teams to factor in, I think the Chiefs are a dangerous team coming
Well,
here.
the only way, assuming that Denver doesn't stumble in Oakland and the Patriots get the number 2 seed, then the only way Kansas City's coming here in the second round is if Miami wins the first round playoff game. Right. Because Kansas City's a 5 seed.
But I don't eliminate anything. I mean, once the matchup, Miami, Is it
Well,
the
you
Miami
look at-
that I saw beat the Patriots? Okay, I think that Miami could probably win that first round
Yeah,
playoff game. Is it the Miami that loses to the Bills? Okay, they're not going to win that playoff game.
If the favorites win this weekend, if things happen like we think they will, and usually one game
They
throws a
don't.
wrench into it.
They
Right.
won't. I guarantee they will not.
Yeah, well, like
the way
I said,
this season has gone.
Okay, so one thing I look at is I think Carolina's going to lose to Atlanta if I had to make a prediction. I don't know in the AFC though.
That's a hot sports take. Does picking Carolina to lose? That's a hot sports take.
I mean, you guys, do you think that? I mean, the big question is, are the Patriots going to beat the Bills?
I just noticed you have a Lions hat on.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
People are texting about that.
I
just
support the
noticed
Lions.
that.
I support the Lions. My nephew plays for the
Jumping
Lions.
on the
They're
bandwagon.
not- I was always on the
Remember
bandwagon.
when you were the famous Fourier in the family?
I know, right?
Remember when you were the touchdown scorer?
I know, right?
Remember
I
when you
passed
had
the
the cool
torch.
touchdown celebration?
I know.
All that's gone. It's
I know.
all gone.
I know.
One year he wiped you
I
out.
was never. I know. Isn't that crazy? 13 years.
You were a home run hitter though. You had like 8 catches and 7 touchdowns.
I know,
Right?
Well, it's funny. I was never on Jimmy
Remember when you used to
Fallon,
trip on? That's true.
though. I was never on Jimmy
I
Fallon.
used to make fun of you though. It seemed like you would trip on yard markers. Like you'd catch this pass in the open field, try to put a move on, and just fall
Yeah,
down.
no, I had no open field running ability.
Right.
I
I must
mean,
have,
there
you
was
literally tackle yourself.
I really had no. I had no speed. I had short area quickness, which and I knew where to go.
SAQ.
So
Is that
which
is that
so
on
it
the
meant
chart?
so it was fine. So I used to love it when like faster guys would come and with obviously more running ability, just flat out more ability. I just freaking open.
Okay now. See,
Joe
we've
Sway
got
took
him
care of you
loose.
on that one.
He's just
I
telling
know.
stories now.
Curran dropped one of those the other day too.
See, now that I know that you said that about me, I might have to think of you differently.
I got to admit, I like
I did dub you Scorier though.
Yeah.
I dubbed
Well,
you
that was
Scorier. Yeah, I did.
Oh, I
that
thought
was
that
me.
was Brian Lowe.
No, that was me.
I did like your
And you jumped on the 20.
your jump spike that you did, but I got to admit, when you did it, I always wanted just once the ball to jump right back up and hit you in the groin.
Eventually, like I always thought that would happen, or I had this fear that I would spike it, then I would fall, and I would land, and the ball would be like right on my ankle, and I would twist my ankle, like break my ankle or something like that.
That would
and I'd be
suck.
like, yeah, I mean, right, that would totally suck, but it never happened. It never happened. There's a key. There is a format to it. You know.
Did you practice it?
No, the first time I ever did that was I was in Seattle, and it's just even the one I did it here, it was like I was wide open and ran into the end zone. I had nothing to do. I was like, oh, well, geez, I got to buy some time somehow. Jump up.
Well, the best part of it is it's sort of old school.
Whoa, what was that?
I don't know. I guess people listening from the other room. 617-779-7937 to join us. Christian Fourier, Andy Hart, and Butch Stearns talking a lot of football. Sal Palantonio is going to join us at 4. Jaws, Ron Jaworski, going to join us at 3:30. Again, the Patriots play at 4:25 against the Buffalo Bills. I guess we could play Belichick and talk ourselves into that the Bills are going to come in here and really give them a good game. Do you see it? I guess so. I guess I wouldn't be shocked.
I do.
Every game's close they play, right?
Yeah,
Pretty much, except
I
for
do.
last week.
I
Do we
don't-
have- here's a question. Do we have a false sense of who they are because they played their best 60-minute football game last week?
Yes. I
You
think, and I gave
You?
them credit.